1972, a crack commando unit was sent to prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped from a maximum security stockade to the Los Angeles underground. Today, still wanted by the government, they survive as soldiers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the A-Team.
Now this was nice. I've always wanted this last issue because I love last issues. This is the end of the Justice League of America. This was the last issue of the long-running title from the 80s that started as Justice League. Then become Justice League International, and then become Justice League and America. Anyhow, this was the end of it. 113 issues. By this point, DC had realized that they had basically weakened down the Justice League concept and went back to the drawing board. Months later, Grant Morrison's JLA #1 would hit and revitalize the whole deal. The whole Justice League of America was redone and revamped. But at the end, characters like Nuklon, Ice Maiden, Obsidian, I believe that's how he's meant, Fire, and Blue Devil were part of the Justice League of America. And they decide, you know, we've got to re-scratch this concept. This is also the famous title where Power Girl got pregnant by her own grandfather, which is very bizarre. It's just really bizarre. I mean, why would you do something like that? And finally, they just forgot it. DC was like, this is so bad, we have to forget it. I got Amazing Heroes 167 with a special Batman issue at 50. I always love stuff with Batman in it because I'm a big Batman collector. So getting this, and the guy sold it at the one booth for like 3 for $1, and I was like, okay, that's cool. He had a couple more Amazing Heroes, and I wish I would have picked them up because they're really worth getting. Because I mean, this book is huge, and they used to come out every 2 weeks with a book like this. Can you imagine that? Every 2 weeks with a book this thick. They had to be, you know, like. And this one is Amazing Heroes #142 from June 1st, 1988, and this is on Eclipse. Based on Eclipse, the 10-year anniversary of Eclipse Comics. Who would know that, you know, Eclipse would probably, not make it to 15. Sad to say. Now, I got this one for $1, and me and Eddie was shocked that this guy had it. I mean, I remember Eddie was like, I can't believe this dude got these. These is New Ways to Die, Book 5, and this is the special variant. I've got the issue, but it's a non-variant cover. And I've got almost all the variants. Here's issue 572, and this is Bullseye. I love these headshots of the villains, so that's why I picked it up. I'm not a big fan of Spider-Man during that time, but I got all those issues free, and paying for $1 for the variant is not going to hurt me. Now, getting to the first appearances, well, while not major, there is some cool ones in this. This is Prototype #1, and this is the first appearance of Prototype #2. Prototype #1 actually shows up in Prime #1. But I like these Ultraverse comics, and maybe one day Marvel will revive these characters. Now, speaking of New Ways to Die, for $1, I trade this issue off to Eddie. Yep, this is the first appearance of Anti-Venom. While I'm not a big fan of the character, this was New Ways to Die. This is issue 569 variant cover, and Eddie wanted this cover, and he traded me an old Batman issue for it. And, I think it was the first appearance of a Batman villain. So I wasn't going to kick on it, at the time. And it's been about a year or two. And I thought I'd never find this issue again because you can't hardly find it. And at the flea market, there it was. I got Dragon Claws, #5. And Eddie found this one for me for $0.25. He's like, dude, you need to pick that up. That's the first appearance of Death's Head. Yeah, Death's Head. While not a major big character, in the early 90s, he became a character for the Marvel UK print. I've got Swamp Thing, and that's up from the Swamp Thing booth. I never knew how special this issue was, and I picked it up for $1. And then I traded it to Chris, and Chris revealed to me, he's like, dude, didn't you know this is the first appearance of Justice League Dark. And I was like, what? The first appearance of Justice League Dark. He's like, yeah, there's all the members. And he named all, and I was like, I never knowed that. So I'm getting it back for a buck work. Plus, it fills in my Alan Moore run. But I made that trade with Chris a good one because I needed an issue he had. So I'm not going to fret on that. Speaking of first appearances, I got the first appearance of X in Comics Greatest World, Week 1. Me and Chris both, this guy had 2 copies of X #1, the first appearance of X. So we each snagged it. Now here's one that Chris wishes he had picked up because he let it go. And I flipped through and I was like, I wonder if this is the first appearance of Barbed Wire. It's got to be an early appearance of her. So I had it in my hand and Chris looked it up and he's like, dude, you got the first appearance of Barbed Wire. And I'll probably work a trade with him because I'm not a huge Barbed Wire fan. So me and him will work a trade on this issue. This is her first appearance, Comics Greatest World. I mean, the Pamela Anderson movie was decent. Nothing. Now this is one I'm really going to keep because I always loved this character. Here's Comics Greatest World, Week 3, and this is the first appearance of Ghost. And Ghost has actually been a cool character. I've really liked it. And I loved her Adam Hughes series that he done in the 90s with her. I've got like so many issues of that. And I always liked the character of Ghost. Now here's one that Eddie picked up and told me to pick up for a quarter. And I actually, when I got home, I was going through a box. And actually I have 2 copies of this. So this is my second copy. This is Darker Image #1. And this is the first appearance of Max. The Max. And I'm like, I gotta tell Eddie. Because Eddie's like, pick it up for a quarter. And they ain't that bad for a quarter. I mean, I didn't pay that much for it at the flea market. But that's pretty funny. I was like, I should have realized I had it. But I guess it's not one of those issues you really think about. Now here's one I picked up. And I'm very happy I got it. I saw this the other night online. It's Marvel 2-in-1, The Thing, and Stingray. It's number 64. And this is the first appearance of the new Serpent Society. With Sidewinder, Anaconda, Black Mamba, and there's another character. There's four first appearances in this book. And I'm pretty happy I picked it up because I was wanting it, and I was going to look for it at Heroes Con. So this saved me a look. It's always nice to find something you don't have to look for later somewhere. And the final issue I picked up was another one I looked up online. And it's really happy I got this one because I've got these characters. I got one of their deaths in the issue. And this is Justice League of America, 87. And I was like, I think this is the first appearance of the Silver Sorceress and Blue Jay and 2 other characters. And it is. Chris looked it up because I couldn't get service on my phone in those back heels. I don't know why. And I was like, thank you, Chris, man. I'm going to go ahead and get it. He said he found a copy later. I think, where did he find a copy? I'm trying to think. He bought a copy of it later somewhere. I'm trying to think, but he's like, I got me a copy too of it. I was like, yeah. It's just a couple bucks. I mean, there's nothing big about the Silver Sorceress and Blue Jay. They're not big major characters. And but I thought this was kind of cool because I was wanting this issue with those 2 characters because I've got basically the death of one, the Silver Sorceress, and I'd like to get their first appearance. So that's my haul. Nothing big, nothing major. We was basically on in a hurry the whole time, trying to get through it and get back. And I hope you enjoy this haul video. And until next time, folks, keep watching.